Hi guys, welcome to the 30th episode or edition of TechBytes by Technext. My name is Damilare. Welcome to TechBytes. If you're just joining us for the first time, TechBytes is where we talk about the biggest news in tech, analysis, and we have interviews with prominent people in the space about topics that matter to you and I in Nigeria, Africa, and the globe. So yes, welcome once again. I won't be doing this alone. I have with me very important people in the house. All right, I have Ebere Chukwu. Ebere Chukwu is a content journalist here at Technext. Hi, Ebere.
Hi, Dami. How are you doing?
I'm very fine. How's your week?
So just there. Nothing special.
All right. Also, alongside Ebere, we have our HR admin. Yeah, hopefully I don't get sacked after this episode. Welcome, Amarachi.
Thank you, Dami.
All right. Then we also have Ganyu here in the house. Ganyu it's not a very unknown face. It's a very familiar face. Welcome, Ganyu. Ganyu is a content journalist here at Technext too.
Thank you for having me, Dami. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
All right. Yeah. So for our conversation today, we'll be talking about women. This is still the Women's Month. Today is the last day, 31st of March. Yeah, today is still the last day of the Women's Month. So we'll be having conversations about women, tech, women in tech, and everything that has to do with that. So stay with us till we have the conversation. Until then, we'll take you around the world of tech in 10 minutes. So you can listen in and also listen for the interview. If you're just joining us for today, you can listen to the past episodes. You have 29 episodes to listen to, so start listening now. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, and, drop your feedback. Let us know what you think. So, yes, let's go on. First, we have Google. Google says it removed 5.2 billion bad ads in 2022. All right. And its report for 2022, Google says it launched a new safety removal tool for ads on Google, and it says it removed over 5.2 billion ads, restricted 4.3 billion ads, and suspended over 6.7 million advertiser accounts. This is big numbers, especially for a big tech company like Google, because this is money. As much as it's ads on the line, it's also money that Google is leaving out just to ensure that the internet is safer for its users and all of that. Yeah, it is. And it has updated 29 policies for publishers in 2022. It also enforced 16 policies which blocked the 5.2 billion ads last year. And several other policies were adopted as well, this cover content that were legally or culturally sensitive, and don't like blocked ads, restricted ads. It could run, but it will be limited so that not everyone sees them, especially in places where they might find them offensive. Thank you very much. That's what Google did last year, and I think it's a good one. I think it's really a good one. I'm not sure I've seen a very bad ad on social media. I don't know if any one of you have seen one in a very long time. It's actually been pretty sane on social media and the internet as a whole. Hopefully it continues and publishers also continue to launch new safety tools. So moving on, today we're just talking about cybersecurity, ads, and all of that. So today, this week, Kaspersky also announced that it prevented 300,000 attacks on IoT devices in sub-Saharan Africa in over the last few months. Right, this shows that it blocked 45,562 cyber attacks on IoT in Kenya, 30,000 in Nigeria, and 221,000 in South Africa. What are you people doing there? Guys, what's happening?
Many things are happening.
As in, all right, just in case you don't know, IoT devices are, smartphones, wearables, smart home devices, everything that is connected to the internet, the Internet of Things, self-driving cars, and all of that. And Kaspersky is a very prominent cybersecurity firm or application that helps to prevent cyber attacks and all of that. And for it to have prevented 300,000 attacks, that's significant. That's a whole lot. That's 300,000 devices that should have been hacked that were not hacked. Yeah, that's immense. That's immense. All right, guys, if you're outside, please stay safe. I hope nobody was hacked in the last 1 month. If you're out there, please stay safe. Please update your password as soon as you can. Don't click on links that you don't know. And if you want more tools and more information on how to stay safe online, listen to our past episode where we talked with Rokadote. Rokadote is a cybersecurity expert, and he definitely told us and tells you how to stay safe and keep your data private online. So don't tell me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right, moving on. So the G7. Now we are back to crypto. So the G7 has said there should be stricter regulations for crypto in the world. All right. G7, if you don't know, consists of several countries, including Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, the United States, and the European Union. What they came together to do is to ensure that going forward, they would enforce stricter regulations for the crypto industry, especially since we had several crypto related incidents in 2022. I know Gani is shaking his head because he's not a big fan of crypto. He's shaking.
And I doubt if I'm going to be a big fan of crypto, honestly. I'm an unrepentant crypto skeptic, and I hope I remain the same.
Wow. Amarachi, are you a big fan of crypto?
I don't have facts. I don't know why, but I'm not a fan. I don't know why, but I don't like it.
Welcome to the WhatsApp
Yeah,
group.
so
Then.
it's not like I know why. I don't have reasons, but I just feel like it's just too chaotic. It's too risky.
Crypto is
Too
chaotic.
much. Just a whole lot.
Can we talk where we're not like that anyway?
Sincere apologies. He'll be fine.
Oh, nice. So yeah, Iberi, are you?
I mean, not really. It's just too much to process. Every day something new is coming out, and you can never really tell what is right and what is wrong. You can just it's like there is money, but it's not reaching everybody, and you don't have the knowledge, you cannot get it. And to get that knowledge is tasking. It's tasking, as in.
Wow, so I'm the only crypto fan, yeah. But actually, it's not just you guys. Many crypto enthusiasts have actually been having second minds about crypto, especially events that have been happening since middle of last year. You know, you had the Terra crash, which crashed Luna and UST to 0.00000. Then you have the FTX crash again.
FCS was like the height for me. I was like, nah.
Yeah, you have the FTX, and this year you've been having several crypto big banks, right, crash as well. Signature, or what is it called? And then Silicon Valley Bank, and all of these guys have been crashing. So it's like one problem to the other in crypto space. So I'm actually not surprised that people are not really hopeful for crypto space, and this has also spilled off to, I mean, the governments and regulatory bodies as well, and they want to enforce stricter regulations for crypto so that they protect their users more and their citizens, so that people don't end up bankrupt and, you know, living on the streets.
So it's a good one, no doubt, actually.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of crypto, but of course I always say do your own research, and it's not financial advice, so don't exactly, very important. Yeah, so to the last news of today, we have UK Nigeria Tech Hub collaborates with Google for startups to award 3 million crowd credit to women founders. This is a good one, especially as we are still in the Women Month. We are, you know, pushing, you know, for the support for women-led startups and women solutions and innovations and all of that. And the UK Nigerian Tech Hub has partnered with Google for Startups Africa to, you know, award $3 million to Google in Google Cloud credits for women founders in Nigeria. So this would, you know, subsidize cloud technology support for startups and all of that to ensure that they can acquire more customers, you know, increase their cloud usage and all of this. This is a very good one for the tech space, and, you know, kudos to everyone championing the charge for women in tech. So yes, thank you everyone for listening in to today's tech news around the world. All right, we'll be moving into the conversation now. So the conversation of today is, overcoming gender stereotypes in the tech industry, talking about the biases, the gender imbalance, the digital divide, in the tech space that we currently experience. All right. So we'll find out that over the last several years, despite efforts to, increase women that have careers in tech, it's still very low. It's still very low. I know, starting up, you do the women in tech bit a bit, and getting women to talk, to share their stories. They always talk about how difficult it was, their experience getting into tech and all of that. And I mean, stats also back this up. It says that just 31% of startup have at least one female founder. All right, and the average number of female founders in the ecosystem is just 15%. That is very, very low. All right, it's far from a middle ground. And this has been heavily debated, right? And people have come up with different factors that might have caused this. You have the gender stereotypes, the biases, the opportunities available, and all of this. And then you also talk about hiring process. You're talking about the promotion opportunities, the workplace culture. All of this has been said to create barriers for women entering into tech, getting into tech, securing job and succeeding. And that's why we have these three amazing people in the house, help us talk about this. Let's see, are there really these biases and stereotypes and these barriers, or are they just cooked up? All right. So we'll start, with maybe a very obvious question, as a woman in tech, Ebere, what are some common gender stereotypes and bias that you faced?
Okay, I think that first of all, the fact that we're talking about it shows that there is that bias.
Okay.
And one of the major issue is doubting people's strengths. Because I'm a woman, you are doubting that I can perform as well as a man. Those that say what a man can do, a woman can do better. I think it's what a man can do, a woman can do also. Because you cannot say any gender is better. We are all fighting for gender equality again. I think one of the stereotypes is just basically trusting. That trust is not there. There's always going to be that gap, that gender gap, and I don't have a problem with it, because talking about gender equality, I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of it, because there is no equality in the gender. Actually, I don't know if anybody has anything else to say, but I don't think there is that equality, because there is, when it comes to biology now, the biological aspects, men are stronger than women. So you don't expect more women or so many women to be in, say, engineering, that men have that physical abilities to perform better. But it doesn't mean women should not still be in that space. For me as a woman, I've faced that, should I say, sometimes when people look at me, they feel like I'm not smart enough to do certain things because I'm a woman. So they will tell me, oh, this particular thing, don't do it, leave it for this guy to do it. It starts from our home, it starts from school, it starts from even the workplace. I don't mean this workplace.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, people always feel like
for your information,
no,
not this
no,
workplace.
not this workplace. See the HR, how can I? But there is that's just that ideology, that mindset that you cannot perform well as a woman. And it's just very wrong. I mean, this age and time that people still think like this, when you can see the wonderful things that women are doing, I feel like it's just, it cannot go away very soon, because people are still going to keep seeing that, what will I call it, that inequality when it comes to strength, when it comes to smartness, when it comes to just being able to do certain things. They feel like as a woman you cannot do it. So yeah, that's it for me.
Oh, nice. So I got your point. I pretty like the points where you raised that it did not just start at home.
Yeah.
It started, in the workplace. It started at home, in school, and all of that. I mean, growing up, we always hear these things of, okay, women should go to maybe like classes like arts, commercial, science was
Go
for
and learn
majorly for
tailoring.
guys and all
Then
of
you
those
leave
things.
computer
Yeah.
for the guys.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't like a major
Did
thing,
not?
but we've had one or twice of those kind of situations. But yeah, bringing it down to the workplace, because that's where we currently are. I mean, that's where these issues are currently being faced in the bulk. Amarachi, you are an HR professional. All right. So, what steps do you think tech companies can do to, create this inclusive and diverse workplace? All right. Just to, ensure that there's a change in this balance in, women, men, 15%, 75%, and all of that.
I think before I answer that, I would like to point out that if you want someone to do something for you, or if you want someone to do something the way you want it, I think somehow, so this is my own school of thought, right? I think somehow you need to let them know that you can do it, I think, right? So it starts from having to, personally develop yourself. So I think now when you're recruiting, during hiring process, it's most times we actually look for competence and sometimes personality. That I'm speaking for myself, so I don't know about some other recruiters, right? We always look for who can do the job, and if the person's personality or lifestyle or whatever it is fits the culture, like if it's culture fit for the organization. So I think it actually starts from the individual, because if you do not work on yourself, if you are not keen about your own personal growth and personal development, I think there is little or almost nothing that tech companies can do. So I'm not saying the tech companies or companies do not have their own role or part to play, right? But I think if you know what to do and what you can do, and it's obvious and it's glaring that, okay, let's say it comes to coding or having to do anything, I think coding is what I know mostly, because that's almost the common thing, coding. I'm not sure I know any other thing, right? But when it comes to stuff like coding, and you maybe you are being interviewed, for real, if you answer questions and you let them know that, okay, your experiences so far fits the job description they're looking out for, I'm not sure any business would like to say, okay, no, because you're a woman, don't come and give us your value. That's what I think. So what tech companies can do is just to, make their hiring process a bit more about the criteria should be more about what you can do if your culture fits, I think, right? So sometimes I get to see some ads, about we're hiring and all of that, and you see preferably female for gender balance, or preferably male for gender balance. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, so if the woman comes on board now, or if the guy comes on board, what
difference would it
like,
make?
do you get me? Like, why are we doing that? So I think if you list the years of experience, the degree, the skills, I think that should actually be prioritized. So the skills, the competence, if your culture fits, if you're good for the job, I think that's what recruiters in tech companies can just do to, help arrange all of those biases
Balances
and balance it. So if you are looking out for competence, if you can do the job, experience, skills, knowledge, soft skills or hard skills, just look out for that, and let's keep the whole preferably female, preferably male, because if it's all male and the job is being done, I don't know, I'm okay with it. But if it's all female and the job is being done,
It's super fine.
with it, the job should be done. That's all I think they should do. Right. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying take away the veil of man, woman, male, female,
Yes, and look deep
and just
beyond.
look at, can this person do
Can
it?
you do the
Yes,
job?
go for it.
Thank you. No, like if let's say, I think there was a statement that was made when I was trying to hire my assistant, and a statement like, who would help you lift some things, based on administrative duties? Who will help you lift dispenser or get heavy stuff? And I'm like, whoever wants to do the job, and the person, maybe if I get to interview my assistant, and I ask her, can you lift some things, and she says yes, I hold her by that. If you say yes, I can do it, and that's fine. So it's not about if you can do or if you're a female or male, but I think there's still some males out there that are like, please don't stress me, I cannot carry everything. You get? So if I bring the guy in now as far, I want to balance my team, and the guy still cannot do the job,
then you've given edge to something that doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
So it's about who can do the job actually.
Nice. All right. So Ganiu, I mean, you are a man in tech, if I can call it.
Wow.
Okay.
We don't have that, right? But I mean, you're a man in tech, you know. But
Seems like it's normal. And can't you see we had to laugh? Like money tech is supposed to be like tech, right? But
wow,
I-
that's why the women month always brings us back. Like, okay, guys, as much as tech, you know, as that's equal sign to men, it's not just men. You know, it's a whole lot of people and genders and there. So, have you noticed any difference in the way men and women are treated? You know, is there any difference? Doesn't have to be a bad difference now. Could be a good difference. Could be, you know. But have you like noticed any difference in your own experience working in tech?
Yeah, so for starters, I would say that this conversation in the first place is a reflection of the larger society, right? And so when we talk about biases, when we talk about stereotypes against women in tech, it's a reflection of how the society, the larger society rather, treats women. And so, I mean, to answer your question now, the truth is, I mean, the question itself is rhetorical, right? Because, I mean, the evidence, I mean, the proof, and all of that is all in our faces. And when we talk about when we talk about workplace culture, for instance, I mean, the victims of sexual impropriety and harassment and all of that are women. And, you know, I mean, even the numbers show that we don't have many female founders. We don't have many women working in the tech industry. So there are quite a number of things. I mean, numbers show that in terms of promotion, in terms of retention, that some of these, you know, stereotypes are still there that are, you know, against women. So it's, like I said, it's a reflection of the larger society. And, you know, considering the fact that the tech industry, ordinarily because of the way we portray it, it's one that we should expect maybe a little bit more inclusivity, a little bit more openness as regards to how we treat women. But unfortunately, because these stereotypes are part of larger society and we are all part of that society, so we bring those stereotypes into the workplace. So it's not really a question of what the tech industry can really do. It's a question of how can we fix it from the larger society, and how much are we smashing stereotypes, how much are we breaking barriers, how much are we having those tough conversations around, you know, creating balances, you know, creating opportunities for women. These are really, really important topics that must, you know, be addressed at the level of the larger society, because I mean the tech industry is just a microcosm of the larger society, right? So if the tech industry decides to fix its own problems, what about other industries? What about traditional, you know, industries? What would happen to the women that are working there? So it's something that I feel like, you know, we must continue to have conversations around, and we should not shy away from what the problems are. The reality is that women are not treated fairly across all industry, including tech. So what we should now be focusing on is how exactly do we, you know, change the narrative? How exactly do we create opportunities for women, right? Because the truth is, what is happening, what seems to be the reality is the ripple effect is what we are seeing in terms of level of interest that women have in tech. I would not want to take up a tech job as a woman when I know that, I mean, startups, with issues of sexual harassment usually come up in startups. I'm like, I don't want to be sexually harassed because of that. I'd rather just stay on my own and not even venture into tech. These are some of the things that are really discouraging women. And, you know, when we even look at the numbers in terms of number of female founders we have, what kind of funding opportunities are they even getting, you know, and you look at all of that and you're like, you know what, maybe I should just stick with banking or something else, because there's nothing in this tech really, because tech is supposed to be like a level playing field for everybody, because it doesn't require any physical strength, you know, because of course by biological makeup men and women are different, right? But tech, these things don't play out. Anybody can code, right? Anybody can do UI UX, anybody can do anything in tech, really. So why exactly do we not have these biases? Why should somebody not be hired because the person is a woman? No. It's, I mean, and I'm glad Amarachi spoke on, the emphasis should be on competence, really. It's about who can get the job done. So if a woman is the best person for the job, hire her. You don't have to say we already have women. No. If you have to create an all-female team, an all-women team, as long as the people there, you do not hire them because of bias or because you're trying to create a balance. You hire them because of what they can do, what value they can bring to the table. Then we're fine. So it's important that, you know, as an industry, we continue to engage ourselves and look at, you know, the problems really and see how we can go forward.
I disagree with one thing you said though. Tech is physical.
Actually.
I mean, tech is physical.
Even the parts that
it's just on a lighter. No, tech is physical. I mean, 20 hours out of 24. It's not a joke.
Doing what actually?
Working
I
now,
want to be
20
sure
hours
that
out
we're
of
on the same
24.
page.
Oh,
But I mean,
okay.
Madam
HR can increase my salary. Yes,
I mean,
20 hours out of 24.
I mean, the point I'm trying to make really
No, I
is
got
that
your
it's
point. I
not,
was
it's
just
not
asking.
like,
So the thing
it's
is
not
that
like a
even the
physical
coding,
work that
it
requires
has-
physical
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
It's not carrying blocks. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
still, see, I think I would like to still narrow it down to the individual, right? So anything I'm going to say, I got my sisters. I'm a female, so I'm not against them. Let me clearly state that, right? But I feel like if you want to be recognized, if you want to give value, you have to build yourself. So I now my sisters, my fellow women, they are coming out, and I love to see it. Like, we are coming out. We're tired of the, you know, stay behind and the men do the thing, and I love it. So, and I think there's a progress, right, in the whole stereotypes, you know, biases and all of that. I think we're getting better. So women are beginning to have, you know, same level playing ground for, you know, in workplaces, like, you know, getting a job, career or something. But I still feel before now, women like to, so I get to have conversations with some ladies, you know, even maybe during interviews, and they love to give excuses most times. They love to select, we love to select what we want to do part time. So they say we are emotional beings, like men are more logical, right? We always want to do things when we want to do it. I like to always tell ladies, don't, if you always say no, or, oh, sorry, I can't do this now, oh, sorry. Because I found out that men actually are always ready to do something if you give them the task. I saw that. And if you are the person giving the task, getting the task, you always want to go to the person or the people that always says yes to you. It's only but normal that you always go back. If I always come to tell you, I need you to help me lift this TV, I need you to help me lift this table, and you always tell me yes, I'll always run to you whenever I need something. So when 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 10 women always say no, I want to maybe be a front desk person, or no, I prefer to be a secretary, because they have to dress all classy, glamorous, on heels, and speak, you know, do all the whole shaka. So I know ladies that's what they all want to do. Some of them, tech, no, I don't want to, coding, no. You know, they feel like it's so much stress. I've seen them talk about it. And if a man or a recruiter or a startup founder gets to meet like 2, 3 ladies that says almost the same thing, I think if I'm the startup founder, I'll just go and look for the men or people, the gender that will answer me. So I feel slightly, I'm not saying my ladies are the cause of the problem, right? They are not, like, you get, no, I'm not saying, but I still feel we as ladies, we need to do better. If we develop ourselves and get better at what we do, we'll be sought after. I'm not sure, and companies will not want to let you go. They will not treat you any less. No, it happens. I won't say it does not happen, but I feel as we're trying to make this whole thing, you know, balanced and all of it, I still feel we ladies, we still have our role. Like, it's very vital. We have our part to play. That's what I think.
So there's something I also wanted to speak about, right? We did not talk about the fact that women need to, oftentimes are compelled to work as twice as men to prove a point. Because Iberi said something earlier about people would naturally doubt you because you're a woman. And I've seen it play out with a lot of people. I mean, you tell somebody you're a woman and you're doing this, and they look at you like, and so what? You have to, like, work extra hard. You have to prove
Just
a
to show
point,
that
and
you
know
can.
why the men will just do the average, the regular thing, and they see them as they are doing their work, right? That's also one part of it. I mean, I'm not saying that women don't need to work, but also there is also that. So it's a bigger problem, really. A woman can decide to work, show up, and do all of that, and somebody will still feel like she's not doing enough. I mean, after all, the guys are doing this, guys are doing that. So that's like one thing I wanted to add.
I think
So-
there's another thing that he said that I want to also add, that saying sometimes for like in a community, or let's just say founding, maybe there are founders that want to invest, or VC investors now, for example, and a woman goes to the stage to pitch. When she speaks, sometimes they'll see it as her being aggressive, but if a man speaks, they'll see it as the man being confident. So that also affects most people. Many women have said, oh, that them being assertive is
It's
seen as
considered as being
aggressive.
rude or something like
and
that.
then for guys it is
misinterpretation.
for me, I feel like people
makes
already
sense.
have that mentality already,
Yeah.
that this woman is she's showing herself. When a man will come and do the same thing and be like, this man is confident.
So you feel like
Just-
she's trying to prove
Yeah.
a point or
So-
something.
yeah.
Ibre, you have to answer a question to that. I know when you were talking initially, you mentioned the fact that these problems did not start in tech, right? They are reflections, like Ganu says, of the maybe larger society, starting from home, school, and all of that. What would you say could be a way to fix this, to change that foundation? Get more women into tech, get them to do a whole lot more in terms of STEM, and hopefully that erodes the current culture and gets into the broader thing, like make it normal that women are in STEM and all of that. So how do you think we can encourage more women to pursue careers in STEM? How do you think
I
that
think,
can
like
be
you said,
done?
it's from the larger society. In some household now, typical African household, if maybe it's after secondary school you want to study something, your parents say go and study tailoring, so go and study how to bake. But for the guys, they'll put you in computer school to go and code. It's true. You
I mean,
it's
you're just one of the really,
Many
really.
people
This
will be
is a
like,
very
go
big
to-
problem, honestly.
go to go and code, go and learn all these whole things. And therefore
I did all the chores.
it's just, but at the same time, most of the household they have that. Oh, you're a woman, do this, do that.
Yeah.
And even from school, you go to school, you see that a girl is smarter, but she cannot be the class rep because they want the man to lead. So it gives that girl that mentality that you cannot be a leader. You just be beside, just be at the back of the man. Yeah. Exactly. Even though sometimes the head
I mean, most times the head girl is just there, just
yeah,
there.
just there by the way. Let it be that there's somebody. So I think there should be more of representation. Sure matters. When you see people in that space, I'm a very small girl and I see my head mistress. She's the owner of the school and is a woman. Even though you push me aside and say I cannot be the head girl, I know that this one is making it. I mean, I can do it too. There should be that representation in the tech space also.
Yeah.
And mentoring. When they say mentoring, when you see many people doing, I mean, there is need for it. There is need for that mentorship. People don't give. I'm not going to say don't give women the opportunity, but like there is not so much opportunity for women to learn, because you cannot learn it from your house. Your parents will not just sometimes just say, okay, go to this tech school and go and learn for 6 to 1 year. Many parents, typical African parents, will not do it. They want you to do something else. So there's need for that mentorship. There's need for that training opportunity. I mean, for you it's different. You've got the opportunity to go to a computer school. I did not get, because I wanted to go to computer school, but my parents were like, oh, my mother had sewing machine, and he said you must learn how to sew. Yeah, you had the opportunity to refuse. Some people don't.
Yeah.
I feel like
So,
that is.
so you mentioned something about representation. So do you think there is a lack of representation of women, in tech?
Yes, because many women, they don't recognize their achievements, and that makes that it doesn't put them in the limelight. So you've done something really good, but they don't recognize it. But when they recognize you, people will see you out there and be like, oh, sure, it's a woman that did this. I mean, if it's possible, she can do it. I can do it as a woman also.
All right.
So there's need for that representation.
Okay. So the last question, right? You guys will go around, but first I want to ask Amarachi. So there's a need to increase the women in tech, increase young women coming into tech, make it seem like a normal thing. All right. So what advice would you give to young women who are interested in pursuing a career in tech? Also, how do you think this would help shape the future of tech, in regards to layoffs and all of those things?
Yeah, you said there's a need.
Oh, well.
I just feel like
there's been calls for it.
We're giving it so much. For me, I just feel if you want to do something, if you want to be some, but I still think, let me just make reference to what Iberi said. I think this thing can actually be changed, or it can be worked on from the families, schools,
charity begins
school,
at home,
secondary schools. Yes, like what my father did was, my father is ex-military, right, and he's clergy. So what you can do is what this other person can do. The only reason why sometimes I did not get to go across the street to fetch water was maybe my elder brothers came and maybe I had fetched a lot and maybe he wanted me to rest, and that's that. If not, I had to wash cars. I fetched waters with gallons. Like as at 14, 15, 16, I think I was able to carry 20 liters, like 2. I had to do all of them. My father would tell you to do anything. Is it to sweep? Is it to climb ladder and clean, take out cobwebs? Anything that you are supposed to do, that's supposed to be done in the house, my father will ask you to do it. So there is no, okay, this one, that, okay, I think washing plates was the only thing anyways. And cooking food, selecting beans for my mom. I think that was the only chore in the house that I know was somehow
segmented.
For the ladies, yes. I think that's it. But if the other thing, no. My father gave me the opportunity to do everything, and I thank him for that. So back to your question. The advice I would like to give to the ladies is, for real, if you want to do something, if you have interest in anything, right?
Just go for it.
Go for it. Like we have lots of Telegram communities. We have Next Techies, right? You can join those Telegram communities so you can get updates on tech events, tech seminars, webinars, a community where you can, meet like minds and you sharpen your iron and you get better. If you want to do something, do it. When you are good at it and somebody says no to you, definitely their loss. You walk away and go somewhere else and they will take you.
Big purr.
Like, just know what you want to do it well. Like, do it well so that you have value to bring to the table. That's all I have to say. I think you said something else, layoffs.
Yeah. Like, how should people cope with this? Like, women, men, everyone, like.
What will be. If you don't have value yes, actually general. If you don't have value to bring to the table, at some point,
no, absolutely.
It's not, yes, except if the company is an NGO, a charity organization where they just pay people salaries. But if they need to generate revenue and pay salaries, you need to bring value as much as they have to pay you.
So
I think that's
build your skills so much that you become a bit indispensable for the company. Like they have to think 3 times before they eventually say that.
Do you understand? Like, is it?
You have to think. First thinking, second thinking, third thinking.
Do you understand? And that would take like 2-3 years. More like, so I think if you have something to do and you want to do it, coding, whatever it is, just go for it. Build yourself. Take courses online. Meet people. Just be good at it. You'll be sellable. That's what I think. Nobody will say no to you or fire you. Yeah.
Good. Gani, do you have anything advice for people trying to get into tech, women especially?
Okay, yes, I would say that nobody can actually be dragged into tech. So, and how would connect to what Amarachi said about people developing interest. I get to interact with a couple of women and they're like, they don't want to do tech. And that is understandable, right? That's perfect. People can get to pursue careers in whatever fields that they decide to choose. But for those that are interested in coming to tech, know that nobody is going to force you. And, because of the level of awareness and consciousness that has been, created in the industry, a lot of opportunities are now there for women. We have even VC funds that are targeted at female founders. We have opportunities that are targeted at, female folks in tech. So there are a lot of opportunities to harness, really. Be on the lookout for these opportunities. Be ready to develop your skill sets. be intentional about your own personal development. Know that you're bringing something to the table. It's very important. You must bring something to the table. Nobody's going to hire you just because you're a woman. People will hire you because you're competent, because you're going to be valuable for the company. So that's one thing that people should just prioritize, their personal development, and know that it's not going to be, no opportunity to be given to you on a platter, really.
Okay. So Ebere, last one. What are some opportunities that you could mention off the top of your head? You do the Women in Tech bit for women that are trying to get into tech, could be communities. Just 1, 2, 3 mention for us. And
Okay. First off, She Code Africa is one very good platform for you to learn how to code and how to it has a community already. It has that mentorship program. There's also Women in DeFi. That you can, it's a community that helps you, just women, focused on women. So it's a community that helps you to really get that knowledge without having that feeling of, oh, because I'm a woman, they're going to treat this is all women, just only you and your girls, just learn
straight up
and make money. Yes. And also, in our own Telegram program, you can
Next
also join
techies.
regardless of your gender. We don't look at it. Nobody looks at it. Nobody asks if you're a female or a male. Nobody cares. Just join, learn. At this point, nobody should look at gender as something to use to judge somebody. It's your what you are you smart enough to do this? Can you do this? Do you want to do it? If you can,
go for
just
it.
go for it. Life is not supposed to be this hard. Life is supposed to be this hard. So yes, I think, and we can also check out, there are a lot of programs that you can check out. There are a lot of sponsorship programs that you can check out. Google, like you said, has been a very strong supporter of
women tech.
helping women. So you can also check out many of their programs and their initiatives. I feel like, at this point, you have all these good things in front of you. Exactly. Just go for it. Life is not hard.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for joining today. This has been an exciting conversation. Just in case you are looking for a summary, 1, go for it. 2, nothing will drop on your laps, right? As much as it is what it is, nothing will drop on your laps. You have to work hard for it. So work hard for it. Go for it, right? And you have the world at your feet. Explore. All right. Thank you very, very much, guys. This was a very, very good time. Just before we round up, do you guys want to drop your social media handles so people can follow you and, maybe chat with you and all the rest? Gani?
Okay, yeah, I'm Gani Oloruntade on all social media platforms. Gani is GANIU and Oloruntade OLORUNTADE.
More.
On all social media platforms.
Amarachi.
LinkedIn, which has become my most favorite for now.
As per each other.
Amarachi Chinedu on LinkedIn, on Twitter and Instagram is @the.graced.
Agbaicha. Ebere.
I'm very, very active on LinkedIn mostly. So it's Ebere Chiko 80K on LinkedIn, and follow Technext on other platforms. You see me there. You see me.
She should get a raise. She should get a raise.
You guys put yourself.
All right.
You put your company first.
All right. My name is Damilare Akinpelu. You can follow me at ActDown07 on all platforms except LinkedIn, of course. Damilare Akinpelu. Like Ebere said, you can follow technext.ng on all platforms. And you can join our community, Next Techies. You should join the community, right? Like, what are you doing if you're not in that community? You should join it. It's where the next big things happen, right? We've had people get jobs and opportunities from our community. So it's not a jogging selves. Do you get it? But yeah, join the community, follow us on all platforms, share this podcast, and get us comments, feedback if you have any, and we'll definitely look into it. So we'll come to your ears and your eyes next week. Take care.
Same time, same station.